In 2019, the German government revealed a shocking projection. The country's auto sector employs some 1.6 million people. Of these, 300,000 could lose their jobs by 2030 if the shift to EV progresses as predicted. Without the need for a combustion engine, electric cars have far less parts compared to gasoline-powered vehicles. Companies in Germany have already begun laying off workers. "10,000 workers in the automobile and related industries took to the streets to protest what they regard as a hastily pushed transition to EVs.
Sauer. Gar kein Ausdruck sauer. Sind wir sauer?
A factory in Roding, southern Germany, provides engine parts to major car manufacturers. In 2019, it announced that it would halt production by 2024. Of the 450 employees it had, more than half have already seen their positions cut. 50-year-old Martin Kopetzky is one of them. Today is his last day of work. His colleagues presented him with a beer mug decorated with clients' firm's logos as a farewell gift. Kopetzky joined the auto industry when he was 20, specializing in quality management. After 3 devoted decades of working to support his family, he now feels betrayed by the company.
Wut und Enttäuschung, ja. Groll weniger, wenn ich hier raus bin, dann ist das Kapitel für mich abgeschlossen.
Hier ist der Antrieb, der besteht aus dem Reducer.
The parts maker began transforming itself 3 years ago in anticipation of the transition to electric motors.
Sehr auffällig. In der Mitte vorne und hinten die Batterie. Das ist das schwerste Teil im ganzen Fahrzeug. Es liegt unten und der Schwerpunkt hat...
The firm has examined the specialty and aptitude of each employee. It is now retraining those deemed best suited for the research and development of EV parts.
The transition in the workforce is a big challenge. This gives opportunities for employees, especially in locations that are ramped down, with a skill set. This is the important requirement.
With support from the firm, Kopetzky has been hunting for a new job, but so far without success.
Automobilhersteller suchen vor allem jetzt für die Elektromobilität lauter junge Kräfte, frisch vor der Universität. Zum anderen ist es auch Wut auf den ehemaligen Arbeitgeber, weil wir eben die Möglichkeit nicht hatten, uns weiterzubilden in die Richtung Elektromobilität.
Experts say that if the EV shift progresses as projected, it will have an enormous impact on employment in Japan's sector as well. Japan's auto industry was developed in the decades following World War II. Today, it employs some 5.5 million people. One study suggests up to 1 million people could end up losing their jobs if the situation isn't addressed. This Honda plant in Tochigi Prefecture has produced combustion engines for the last 50 years. As it shifts to EVs, Honda has decided to close the facility by the end of 2025. Honda plans to transfer the plant's approximately 900 employees elsewhere. Local firms who supply the plant are already seeing a decrease in orders. At this engine parts manufacturing equipment maker, orders, including those from Honda, have been declining since 2019.
大体ですね、4億ぐらいの減にはなってきちゃいますね。2、3年以内に僕らの作るものっていうのはきっとなくなってしまうんだろうなっていうのは予測してますね。
With no clear future prospects in the auto industry, the firm is considering a foray into a different sector to protect its 100 workers.
農業とか、アグリ分野、医療までいかないヘルスケアの部分だったらチャンスはまだあるのかなと思ってます。
The company has managed to secure an order for an instant noodle production line.
やっぱり自動車産業だけでうちの会社を維持していくのっていうのは難しいと思いますし、自分たちでできることを探す必要性はあるなっていうのは思ってます。
However, not all companies have been able to adapt. This firm developed and sold engine manufacturing equipment to Honda and other car makers for many years. In February 2021, it decided to close up shop.
綺麗なくなってる。で、ここで試作やったり実験やったり。
The company's intricate designs, factoring in heat expansion of metals, received high praise from automakers in the US and South Korea. Yet, its highly specialized craftsmanship suddenly found itself obsolete in the emerging EV era. Ode believes Japan's auto industry will take a hard hit if the EV shift gathers speed in Japan.
産業構造が壊れます。電気自動車になると壊れていきます。今まであったこんなピラミッドの中、うちはここにあってこうしたら上から仕事が出てきて続くんだって思ってるような幻想は捨てないといけない時代なんで。
The EV shift is shaking Japan's auto industry to its core. Toyota, with its cautious approach to an overly hasty transition, has drawn up a unique strategy. This is an endurance race held in Oita Prefecture in the summer of 2021. Company president Toyoda himself was seen behind the wheel of a groundbreaking hydrogen-fueled combustion engine car, which the company is rushing to develop. Unlike electric motor hydrogen FCVs, this car burns hydrogen as engine fuel instead of gasoline. The process emits virtually no CO2. Toyota has been putting the car to the test in endurance races, hoping to improve its range from the current modest 60 kilometers.
で特にレースだと過酷なので、そうすると弱いところっていうのはすぐ見つけることができるんで。
In sharp contrast to EVs, hydrogen cars can utilize the company's legacy engine technology. Toyota hopes this can help protect jobs in Japan if it can be fully developed to market.
カーボンニュートラルに向けて心一つに今後も戦いをしていくんだろうなというふうに思いますので、ぜひとも皆さん一緒に戦っていきましょう。
However, at the end of 2021, Toyota announced a whopping $35 billion investment to boost its shift to electric. Its 2022 EV model can travel some 500 kilometers on a single charge. Going forward, Toyota plans to continue developing hydrogen engine vehicles, EVs, hybrids, and FCVs concurrently. Toyota's main focus for its EV range will be Europe and China, where the shift to zero-emission cars is already well underway. It's keeping hybrid cars in its lineups in North America, Japan, emerging markets in Asia, and elsewhere, tailoring its strategy to each region. Toyota is leaving its options open as it figures out how to stay at the forefront of innovation, moving toward a net zero emissions economy.
カーボンニュートラルに取り組むにあたっての敵は炭素です。決して内燃機関ではないと思います。これが正解ですというものが今は見つかっていないと思います。で、正解がないときに、選択肢を狭め、これがあたかも正解かのごとく持っていくやり方ではなくて、今は多くの選択肢を与え、ぜひともそのサポートをお願いしたい。
French carmaker Renault has taken another bold step in its big push into electric vehicles. The firm is trying to minimize the carbon footprint of the entire manufacturing process of its EVs. Innovative energy savings, such as using heat from machinery to warm the workspace and optimizing the drying time for paintwork, have been introduced, minimizing the amount of electricity used overall.
On parle d'environnement, on veut faire une usine propre, des voitures propres, CO2, on va utiliser zéro camion.
Behind the move is a concept called life cycle assessment, set to play a key role in future EU legislation. It aims to reduce CO2 emissions not just while the car is on the road, but for all stages of its life cycle, from the sourcing of materials and parts to eventual disposal. The EU is introducing strict environmental regulations to ensure emissions targets can be met. Companies like Renault have acted swiftly to turn a challenge into an opportunity to get ahead of the field.
The fact of the matter is that Europe is giving the direction towards a rather strong CO2 regulation in the future. We have to work all together, public sector, private sector, to get the whole thing done. But the direction is absolutely clear.
Honda has already decided to drop the combustion engine and is pressing ahead with its shift to EV. It's applying all of its technical resources in a bid to increase cruising range for its new electric cars. Here, Honda's engineers are measuring their current EV model's air resistance, minutely analyzing how it can be improved. They believe that after battery function itself, air resistance is the second key to a longer range. They've turned to the know-how on optimizing aerodynamics the automaker's engineers have accumulated through Honda's Formula One racing cars. They tirelessly make ultra-fine adjustments over and over, finding every way they can to improve efficiency.
割合としては小さいかもしれませんが、1キロずつ伸ばしていく航続距離で約20キロぐらいは上乗せできるように今開発してますんで、期待しててください。
バッテリーも大事だけど、やっぱり空力ってすごく大事だからね。
Leading the technological development at Honda, Otsu Keiji believes that Japanese automakers won't be able to survive if they stick only to conventional technology.
長年エンジン開発に携わってきた一人としては内燃機関が継続されることを望んでると思います。ただ経営視点を入れるともうそういう考えはないですね。なぜならもう社会が変わってるからです。社会が変わっている、技術を変えなければならない。
However, Honda doesn't feel that it has fallen too far behind in the fierce global fight for an edge in EV technology.
これからぐっと増えていく中での戦いなので、僕はまだほぼ横一線だと。そういう意味でもまだ焦りはないですね。
ある種ここからが勝負。
はい、ここからが勝負。
The shift to electric vehicles is accelerating worldwide. Car makers outside Japan have teamed up with their governments to secure a crucial foothold. But what is Japan's vision for the future of the car? Without a coordinated strategy, its status as the world's automobile powerhouse could be at stake.